Hey everybody, welcome to the Luxury Sigh Interior Design Podcast. I am your host, Luxury Sigh. I am an interior designer. I am a reassuring voice and your trusted friend. So welcome to the podcast. This is episode 507, and today we're talking about optical illusions in life. And so if you're watching this, it's actually happening live on YouTube. If you're not watching it live, you can definitely catch the podcast, luxuryside.com, or you can just log on to Spotify or any place that you find your, where you listen to your favorite podcast, right? So something magical is happening in my world and in my space. And when I transitioned from real estate into interior design, I was very pensive. Just like, what does this transition look like? You know, I was licensed, I'm still licensed, just not active in New York, New Jersey, as well as North Carolina. And I wanted to make sure that there was an arc, like this trajectory, this narrative that I can tell that took me from the world of high-end luxury real estate in New York and in New Jersey and North Carolina with Sotheby's into this space that I really, really want to occupy, which is the world of interior design. I'm not even going to get into that it's luxury design, just interior design, making wonderful spaces, decorative spaces, and making your home feel comfortable and where you feel good to nest, right? And so I was reading something this morning. We usually record on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I was reading something, today is a Friday, about optical illusions. And I just felt the need, the urge, the push to come do a live and just kind of do a bonus episode this week around this whole topic of like imposter syndrome, what is real, what is not. And so just bear with me and just listen to this. I want to read something to you really quickly, and then I'm going to get into my talk. Most of you know, who've been following me since I started this show in June, started podcasting in June of 2008, that my show's pretty much 30 minutes max, 20 minutes max, in that area. I want you to listen to it, get something out of it, and then keep your day moving. So let me read something to you. Illusion, and this is on vocabulary.com. Let me fix this camera so that way you have a good angle of me in the space. Okay. Illusion. An illusion is something that isn't real. It may look real, but it's actually fake. Just a crafty construction of fantasy, like the old rabbit out of the hat trick practiced by magicians around the globe. An illusion is an act of deception. Some optical illusions are pretty cool to watch, but an illusion can also point to an erroneous belief or false perception of reality, which is where you start getting into hallucination territory, seeing things that just aren't there. You can give the illusion that you're fascinated by your professor's lecture by chewing your pencil, furrowing your brow, and making sure to nod enthusiastically ever so often. But the reality is, it's not real. Though I find it hard to trust that my good fortune will continue, I am under no illusion about what is left behind. That's a way to use illusion in a sentence. Here's one more. You will yet bear many sons. I see them, and what the dying see will come to pass. Be assured this is no illusion. So it's really important, especially being in the space of interior design, that I talk about illusions. And so I come from New York City, which is this world of be aggressive, get on your grind, secure your bag. This whole notion of throw on your Timbs and a hoodie and you gonna go get it. You know, I just see, like, have visions of Wu-Tang, like the hoodie, the goose coats, go get it. And really, you go to other cities and you pick up the nuances of that city. Southern hospitality, the vibe of Nashville, the vibe of LA. And as we move through these spaces, we pick up bits and pieces of whatever environment we're in. And so what happens is, I believe, and what I have found, which is why I felt it necessary to host this show, is that as you continue to move through the space of life and you pick up little pieces of the people around you and where you are, you begin to lose the essence of your soul. You begin to lose the essence of who you actually are. Your life becomes an illusion, and that's where this imposter syndrome starts to come from. For someone like me that goes into people's homes and helps them deconstruct, reconstruct, design the narrative around their space, I have to be mindful and careful not to pick up on their energy. Or if I do pick up on their energy, have a mechanism in place to pick it up and release it back to where it came from. Because you start to layer on the complexities and nuances of other people's personalities. You can start to take that upon yourself and not realize who you really are. You start to lose the essence of who you are. And so today I'm sharing to bring to your awareness, be mindful of illusions. I lived in Atlanta many moons ago. From 2001 to 2003, I lived in Atlanta. And it's a great city. I love it. I'm definitely not hating on Atlanta, but I had to get back to Jersey because I felt everybody was living this lie. No tea, no shade to anybody that lives in Atlanta and to all the wonderful people that I met there. But you can't BS your way through life. And I just felt like the vibe there was so who you know, what church you go to, who you rock with. Well, I come from New York. First of all, there are very few. Let me just say this. There are very few mega churches where I'm from. So where you go to church is of no consequence to any degree. It matters in some circles, but on the macro level, it really doesn't matter. You might go out to Queens to Reverend Flake's church, which is AME, which is what my family is. You may go down to Perth Amboy with Bishop Hilliard. But really, your life is not going to move or shake with any consequence based on where you go to church when you're from New York, New Jersey, up in that area. But in Atlanta, that is everything, what church you go to. I remember when I bought my house, the people I bought my house from said, where are you going to go to church? And I was like, wait, what? And so I felt I had this imposter syndrome because I was unaffiliated with the church when I first moved there. And everybody kept asking me, what church do you go to? And so I found myself trying to hurry up and find a church just to fit in, even though that wasn't authentically who I was. My family is Muslim. Let's keep it all the way live. My mom's whole family, they cover very unapologetically, I might add. And so I had to really, that was my first lesson in being true to your authentic self. Now let's bring this back a little bit more modern. Let's bring it into 2022. COVID has had people sitting on the couch for 2 years for the most part. And this is no tea, no shade to all of the parents that had to work throughout the last 2 years while their kids were home from school. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about everybody had to take a moment to reflect, who am I? Where am I in life? Where do I want to be? And what do I want my life to look like? That's how I ended up in North Carolina. That's exactly how I ended up in North Carolina. In Jersey, everybody was dying, 2,000-3,000 people a day. I was like, yo, this is not where I want to be. This is not what I want my life to look like. And after much thought, conversations, I was like, yo, I got to get up out of here. Because that was what was authentic to me, especially at the height of COVID. Now you find yourself in, now that COVID is, I don't want to say it's over, but we're kind of on the tail end. People are not masking up like they should. This social distancing is in place, but it's really not. Like, I go to basketball games at the Spectrum Center. Nobody is masked up. I actually wear my mask when I go to the Spectrum Center to watch the Hornets play, but most people don't. But now we get into this space of, here we are coming on the other side of COVID, and we have to really take a look at who we are and where we fit into the space in our lives and our space in the world. Are we really following an optical illusion of doing what we're supposed to be doing, what people think we're supposed to be doing, driving what people think we're supposed to be driving? For the sake of what? Like, wait, what? For the sake of what? My prayer is that you spend your time this weekend, for real, take a step back. And why this weekend is significant is because it's really the last functioning month of the year, right? We do January, February, March, first quarter done. April, May, June, second quarter done. July, August, September, third quarter done. We're in October. October, for real, is really like the de facto end of the year. Because now November, everybody's getting ready for Thanksgiving. December, everybody's getting ready for Christmas. And then you kind of go into January, your new year. So really today is, today is October. Of course, my watch is, today is October 28th. So it's a couple more days and then we're going to be at the end of October. But for real, I feel we're kind of at the end of the year right now. Now is when you should be thinking about, what did you do this year? What worked? What didn't work? What's on deck for 2023? What steps can we make in this last window so we can make next year more profound, more important, and more meaningful than 2022? It's not about making it better and making it more successful. I use the word profound very deliberately. What can make 2023, what can we do now to make 2023 have a more profound difference on our life and on our legacy? Let's cut the illusions. Let's cut that out. Let's stop faking it. Be who you are. And if it's X, then just be X. And if it's something else, then that's okay too. Last thing before I go, I remember a few years ago, this was a few years before COVID, I was in Harlem and having brunch with one of my friends. And we were sitting outside. You know how they have the little outside seating right outside the restaurant? We're just probably having mimosas or something like that. And this guy, who was clearly male, walked by us with the dopest, fiercest sachet I have ever seen in my life. And actually, this is my book, Courage to Climb, is dedicated to this man that I've never met, man or woman that I've never met, however they identify. And I just remember thinking, I wish I had a little bit of his courage. The courage that it took him to get up that day, put his authentic self on, or be his authentic self and carry that into the street. I was like, I just want a modicum of that. Can I just have a little bit of that, whatever that is? And that was a trigger for me to start really being true to myself, my authentic self, who I am, very unapologetically. And then when I hit 50 years old, God, heaven help you if you weren't in my agenda or on my radar. It was over. This is who I am. This is who I have to be. I don't know how many years I have left. I'm so happy I made it to 50. I'm psyched that I made it to 50. Thank you, God, right? So I'm definitely not going to spend, maybe I have 20 years left, maybe I have 15, maybe I only have 4. My mama died at 54 from ovarian cancer. If I only have 4 years left, Bull, you can bet for sure I'm going to live my authentic self with no illusions. And so my prayer to you, as Monday actually marks the end of my year, because to me, November and December is a wash. I'll be busy designing and styling homes for the holidays. But as far as making, any meaningful changes, after that, I'm checked out until January. Spend some time reflecting on who you are and what your authentic self looks like to the world. And be bold and courageous enough to walk in that space. Thank you so much for listening. And I honor you for spending, 15 minutes and 29 seconds with me. Thank you. Always remember that we shall pass through this world but once. Any good, therefore, that we can do, or any kindness that we can show to any human being, let us do it now. Let us not defer or neglect it, for we shall not pass this way again. That is how I've ended every podcast episode since June 26th, 2008, and I will continue to end every podcast episode that way. Thank you so much for listening. You've listened to Luxury Sigh of the Luxury Sigh Interior Design Podcast, and I'll see you soon.